Hi there. Welcome to a little bit of my day. This is a new view, a little bit of a different view for you. Here, let's put that up so that looks cute back there. I thought that I would start in this position here. It's easier because this bin here is tall and I just cannot fit it. Here's my crane that I use. I attach my phone right here. And this bin is too tall for you to really grasp what I'm going to try and explain to you. I've decided to get a little bit of a head start on my next journal while the folios, the signatures for Louie, Oscar, and William are back in the press again. I do believe I've finished doing all the sewing, but I do want to put some lace on them, and the lace goes on last because you can't put lace into the book press or else you can't do it successfully. So I have this bin here of, obviously, it's a mishmash of old papers and tea-dyed papers and book pages, and you'll see here paper doilies are there. I even save, here are the, is that the, yeah. I save the blank end papers from old books. If I don't end up using them, I just save them because you never know when you want an old piece of paper, like originally old. So I have a file of even just that. But there's also some interesting ones in there, like there's Alice in Wonderland. Every once in a while I run across a damaged copy of Alice in Wonderland and I grab it and I just rip out the pages I want. And because it's damaged, I don't feel guilty doing that. And then it goes into the recycling. I keep the pages I want, the rest of it goes in the recycling. Quite often they're even paperback versions. I just want certain pages, the front chapters or the illustrations, especially the fun illustrations with the Mad Hatter and you know what I mean. And those go into this bin, and this bin started off neat and tidy, and I basically knew where to find things. Like I know that I keep for example, my tea-dyed Beatrix Potter, my little bundle of tea-dyed Beatrix Potter, tea-dyed butterflies and birds, that sort of thing. The little ones, and it sort of goes in size backwards, and then it even ends up with just some more odds and ends. I had a typing book that I had to take apart, so I've got the pages in there from the typing book. And yeah, so, but my problem is when you're making a journal, or when I'm making a journal, I'm always way too hopeful for how many pages I can fit into the book. And I always end up, before I sew it together, having to make the difficult decision of what folios need to come out. And then my next problem is, when I'm so excited to get on to the next project, that I do the lazy lady's cleanup job on my desk, and I will grab the folded folios because they've been prepared to go into a book, and I just stuff them in there because I just want them off my desk so I can get started on the next book. And believe it or not, I pulled all of these. These are all folded folios. See what I mean? I pulled all of these out of my neat and orderly bin for the past hour or so. So my bin is back to being neat and orderly. But now I've got this pile of various sizes, various colors, various, you know, music and things like that. And I've decided to challenge myself that my next journal that I'm going to work on, I have to use these folios to create the text block of the journal. And because most of these are blanks, I will give myself permission to add in maybe one colorful folio per signature for the next journal. So, you know, one Beatrix Potter or one, you know, from butterflies or birds or wildflowers sort of thing. I'll give myself permission to put maybe one, if it's tiny, maybe two per folio. I'm going to have lots of room because let me show you the book that I'm going to work on. So, as you can tell, a few days have passed since I started that intro. Life got away from me. Let's get caught up. I was going to show you the book that I'm going to use. Here are all the folios, the folded folios that never made it into other journals. Can you imagine what might have been? But they're still going to have their day. Now these shouldn't be in here. You're not folios. You are illustrations. You got filed in the wrong place. But you're cute. So let's put those away. The rest, yes, you are. Nope, you're not. And you're not either. All right. Now I know for sure the rest are folios. And we're going to create a journal using these folios that never got to the show. So I'm going to put them aside for now because I think I found the perfect journal for it. I did want to do a journal. I have a journal here from 1794, and it is in abysmal condition, but it's really super cool. But the publisher, although they started off making it a hidden hollowback spine, they glued the text block to the spine. So there's no saving the entire cover. And it was just so cool with the entire cover. So I've put it aside to decide what I'm going to do with this book, because it's still very cool that the pages are from 1794. Unfortunately, because they glued it right to the back of the spine, the text block, it won't lie flat the way a hidden hollowback spine will open up and lie flat for you. And so trying to find the threads, the signature threads, I can't do it. So if I take pages out to use, I'm going to have to cut them in really close with an X-Acto blade or a craft blade, and then join them together. But I would like to make use of some of those pages. I mean, how cool to be able to say 1794. And it was a volume of Shakespeare, so it's not that precious. I looked it up. They published lots and lots of them, and there are some available that are in better shape. So I don't feel badly, even though it's 1794. It's not going to get used. It's falling apart. But that aside, I think after researching and looking over my books, I decided I needed something with a significant spine, because I have some significant paper here that I want to make use of. And I think I found the perfect one because it has a significant title. And the front is blank, so I can have some fun. And this is it. And the title of it is A Strange Story. How awesome is that for the title of a journal? A Strange Story. Oh. And it's a perfect title for a journal that's really not going to have any rhyme or reason as to why the pages are in it that are in it, because they're honestly, not only are they someone else's junk, because I find my papers at thrift stores, they're now my junk because I didn't even use them in the journals that they were going to be used in. So this poor little junk journal is like a junk journal. And we're going to make it beautiful and loved. And I like all the embossing on it. And I think there's even, if you look here, I think there's some spilled wax on it. It sticks up a little bit. And I think some wax got dropped on it by accident. That spine is so filthy, but it's so abysmal. Have I used that word too many times? I think I'm just going to attempt a soft eraser on it to get any grime off of it and leave the rest of the grime there. First of all, I don't use baby wipes to clean my covers. I use a cotton pad and alcohol. I don't even trust what's in baby wipes because often there's aloe in it. There's some kind of a mild soap in it. And then you wonder why you've got dye coming off on the baby wipe. So if there's germs, the alcohol will kill the germs. And you might not want to use alcohol on your baby's bum. I certainly do not. But on a book cover, absolutely use the alcohol. And it will, and it evaporates very quickly, so you won't get the buckling that water can do from a wet wipe. So there's just my opinion. There are many opinions out there, and I'm not saying mine's right. I'm just saying if you're wondering what I do, that's what I do. But I want to know how old this is because I think it's as old as dirt. It's already falling apart. The text block is out. These have to stay in. There is no way I can improve on these end papers. They're just delightful. And so they are staying in. Unfortunately, I will lose part of them. I'm going to try not to lose too much of them because I will do some sewing in order to hold the text block in place. So I can make the wings quite small because I have a feeling we're going to find out this is definitely from the 1800s. And my problem is whoever owned it, Ruth Tink. It's either Tink or Pink. I think she was trying to do some fancy writing. And because of that, no, I still think it's Ruth Tink. At first I thought it was Keith, but I think that's definitely Ruth because it went over harder on and there's no loop for an E. And if it's a really old book, I think Keith in the history of names is a relatively more recent name than a common first name than Ruth. Ruth was a very common lady's name. I'm not even sure why I'm peeling this off. Oh yes, I know why. Because I like peeling things. Like skin when you've had a sunburn. And maybe it'll make it easier to pull out the folios and use folios. I don't think this poor little book even got headbands. A headband and a footer. Oh well. One other thing that gives me great pleasure and happiness is this was in the front, and this Watson's Compound Castor Oil Pills. So it's been around for 50 years, and it is a speedy cure for indigestion, biliousness, headache, piles, that's important, dizziness, wind, disordered liver, and stomach. So, you know what, it might not be laxative, but come on, piles. This will help you if you've got piles. So, that has to go, well, it's all going back in, but this one is, that's just delightful. So I'm going to pause for a moment, and I'm going to go online and see if I can find this book and find out what year it's from, because there's obviously some pages went missing when it fell apart, and there's more fun pages at the back that I'll be able to make use of, some advertising and where it didn't get split apart. But no year, not even a hint of a year. All right, give me a second. We'll take a look and we'll see. For Pete's sake. Ugh, if it was a snake, it would have bit me. All I had to do was turn the page. I don't know why I got it into my head that there was no date in it. Hello, 1892. How cool is that? Thank you, George Rutledge, for posting that for us. And there's a lady looking like she's going through a strange experience with her hand over her heart. Uh-oh, I have a feeling there's heartache in this book. We shall never know. I don't intend to read it. I intend to... Oh, look at all these. These are going back in. Look at... You know how excited I get when somebody's lunch is still in the book. That could be like a 120-year-old lunch that got spilled. Tea, coffee, probably tea. I shouldn't make assumptions. They drank coffee then too. Look here. Oh, Catherine's a happy, happy girl. There is a 100-year-old beverage of some sort spilled in this book. And that pleases me. So we need to, I was going to say we need to pull the text block out. No, we don't need to. That's done. So I can put my computer back because I had it down here in order to see. Now I think this is just going to come right out. And that will make it easier for me to create the new spine. I'm not sure that I want it to be hard, like when we glue together layers of file folders and then wrap them with pantyhose around the doweling. I'm thinking that I want it to be, oh, by the way, see, here we go. Oh, a squirrel. Scatterbrain Catherine. My microphone battery was dead, so I'm hoping you can hear me. I'll try and speak up. I just realized that I forgot to tell you that. But my phone is quite close to me, so I'm hoping that you've been able to hear everything I've been saying. Anyhow, there we go. It's barely held together. Let me see if I can see through those hinges. You know what? I've had worse. I have definitely had worse. That is not bad. Now, is that trying to lift? Oh, is that a... Look at that. Corn and bunion plaster. Oh, come on. Pans. Oh, this is just the universe shining down upon us today. All right, I am not going to... Normally, I would lift that back, and if there's any gauze under here, I would remove the gauze. The gauze is staying where it is. Isn't that nice? More of Lord Lytton or Lytton's novels. Well, isn't that lovely? 20, you could get 20 volumes of his books for £5.50. How nice. And 28 volumes of the Nebworth edition for £4. Isn't that wonderful? Oh, I'm thoroughly enjoying this. Happy girl. Anyhow, I'm almost thinking I want to... Let's put these aside for now. Let me see how I am at time. I'm thinking I just want to use paper in here. Line it again with paper, and then we're going to line it with just some really fine fabric right side down, so that as those hinges continue to wear away, it will be pretty fabric that shows through on the other side. So let me grab some paper. Okay, it's not paper, but it's not cardstock. It's not even as thick as a file folder. It's just a little bit heavier. And I think we're just going to replace this into here. I'm going to make it a little bit smaller. Just so that it doesn't try and poke through that old fabric. I shouldn't be pulling at threads on that, or I'm just going to, I will completely open up that hinge, and I want it to stay put for the time being. I'm going to use this as my template. And then I can probably cut a few. And then we'll be able to decide what it's going to be for the, how wide is that? So it's not quite 1.5 inches. Yeah, that looks about right. Where's the text block? Now that's quite curved. Yeah, see, look, there's not much difference from in there. That got pounded and mushed together, so that's going to work out fine. I might take it in a bit. I think I'm going to ignore my own and take it in a bit and see how we do. We can always cut another one, right? These are just offcuts, and if it doesn't get used for this, it'll get used for something else. Boy, there's going to be a lot of, look, there's window peekaboo holes up here, probably down here as well. Not yet. So if that goes there and that, yeah, see, that's way too long. I don't want it that long. Okay, so we're going to as you can tell, I'm being extremely professional and measuring as I go. That's better. Okay. And I think I like that also for my text block. That will give me room for plenty of signatures. Let's see what we're working with here. So we are at more, it's more 3/4, 5/8. No, you know, it's that much. I'm not mathing today. Don't ask me to math. I'm not mathing. All right, so let's erase this. Oh, let's guesstimate now what it was. We'll guesstimate. Let's say it's 1 1/4, just for good measure. And then I'll know my center. This, again, my very mathematical way of finding the center of the papers that I work with. There we go. All right, so one is going to go in, and then one is going to become my text block template. And one is going to be my whole pokey template. This is going to be the whole pokey template. Let's just write that on there. So if it was 1 1/4, normally that would be 5, so I'm going to do 7 signatures. Please forgive my seems to be slightly off. It could very well be slightly off. I am down to like the single digit countdown to get my second eye done. It's actually 1 week from today. I'll be all done and my second eye will be all done. I think I might have got the first slot of the day because I have to be at the hospital for 6:30 in the morning, which I'm quite happy with. I'm happy, first of all, to get it over with. I'm also happy because I'm one of those people that low blood sugar will give me a migraine. So by having to be at the hospital for 6:30 and get it over with, and they can give me my little happy drug into my IV, then, you know, life's a bowl of cherries. I'm just going to take these corners off because this is the one that's going to go back into there. Let's see. I did all that work. What if I'm still not happy? No, I'm happy. Okay. And then I'm just going to encourage it to feel like curving a bit and just being cooperative and feeling old and bendy. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to tell you what I'm going to do because I've come to the end of my time and I'm going to keep working anyways. I'm now going to lay down some pretty, very light fabric, very thin fabric down in here. I'm going to try and keep it to here so that I don't cover up too much of these magnificent end papers. I don't even mind that that's torn like that. I mean, my goodness, 1892. It deserves to be torn a little. And I'm going to lay down the fabric there. I'm going to glue this in and then think about it. You might think, well, that's going to show. It's not going to show because when I create the text block, and that's going to be over here eventually, I have to do the lines, that other fabric, so there's going to be 2 new layers of fabric on these hinges. This book is going to be lovely and floppy, and it's going to be just marvelous, and it's definitely going to be a strange story. And I'm really, really looking forward to this book. But I'm not done with Louie and Oscar and William yet. This is just giving me something to do and something else to look forward to whilst I wait for Louie and Oscar and William. So thanks for joining me today. I hope you have a great rest of your day. And we'll definitely get together soon. I'm not sure when. Like I said, life seems to be taking me in different directions lately, and Kirby goes to the groomer tomorrow, so that takes up a lot of time because the groomer I like is in the next town over, but she's wonderful with Kirby, and she's a sweetheart, and I keep hoping she'll never retire, but she's got grayer hair than I do, and she said she's been at this for over 30 years, so I'm a little nervous. Fortunately, she only does little dogs now because she can't lift the big ones up anymore to get them into the tub or up on her table. And Kirby's a little dog because she's only, Well, she's 6.2 kilograms, so you do the math, because I'm not mathing. I'm already off topic. I was trying to say goodbye. Goodbye! Have a great day!